My son cut me off for 12 years, now he's back, but I don't know if I can forgive him. Before he left, we were close once. Or so I thought. Sunday morning pancakes. Watching baseball on the porch. Quiet jokes during movies his mother didn't like. Then one day, it shifted. He started coming home late. Fewer smiles. Fewer answers. I chalked it up to growing up. But something darker was settling beneath the surface. A fight, one we never finished, became the last thing we ever said to each other. And just like that he was gone. No goodbye. No forwarding address. Just silence. And a number that never picked up again. The void. 12 years is a long time to live in silence. You try to fill it with routines. With work. With neighbors. With groceries and hobbies and pretending you're fine. But nothing replaces your child. The holidays were the worst. Each one became a rehearsal in pretending. I'd set a place for him at the table. Then quietly put the plate back in the cabinet when no one was looking. His mother, my wife, passed away 6 years after he left. Her last words to me were, "If he ever comes home, forgive him." I told her I would. But I didn't mean it. A message. The message came on a Wednesday. Just a simple email. One line. "Can we talk?" It was signed James. No apology. No context. Just that. I read it 10 times. I didn't respond right away. Because after 12 years of silence, one sentence felt like a pebble in the Grand Canyon. But still, it was a pebble. And pebbles can start avalanches. The meeting. We met at a park bench. He looked older. Not just in his face but in his eyes. Like someone who'd seen too much too fast. He sat down slowly. No hug. No handshake. Just a quiet, "Thanks for coming." I didn't answer. I just waited. And finally he said, "I'm sorry." Not for anything specific. Just, "Sorry." And then he cried. And that, more than any words, broke me. Because I realized I hadn't just missed my son. I'd missed the boy who didn't know how to come home. His side. He told me stories I hadn't heard. About the nights he spent sleeping in his car. The people he trusted who let him down. The anger he carried like a second skin. He said, "I thought you gave up on me." And I said, "I thought you hated me." And between us, silence nodded. Because we both believed the worst of each other for too long. The house. He came back to the house the next day. It looked the same, he said. Smelled the same. He walked room to room like he was remembering how to be small again. When he saw the pictures still hanging on the hallway wall, he stopped. "You kept these up?" I said, "I never took you down." His eyes glistened. And mine did too. The ghost. We talked about his mother. How she missed him. How she defended him even when I was angry. How her heart cracked a little more each year. He cried when I told him about her last breath. "She waited for you," I said. He buried his face in his hands. And in that moment I saw the child I once held again. Small, hurt human. The neighbors. People started to notice. Mr. Alcott across the street saw us raking leaves together. Miriam from church spotted us at the market. They asked questions. I gave short answers. Because explaining healing is harder than explaining pain. And some stories aren't ready to be shared with the world. The letters. You found the letters. The ones I wrote every year on his birthday. Tucked in a shoebox in the attic. All unopened. All unsent. He read them silently, page by page. Then he looked at me. "Why didn't you send them?" I said, "Because I didn't think you'd want them." He shook his head. I would have read every word. Even the angry ones. And I cried. Because I had saved them for him. And maybe for myself. The truth. He told me why he left. How the fight we had wasn't just a fight to him. How it was the culmination of years of feeling unseen. How a boy who needed love heard only disappointment. And how the world outside promised something different. He chased freedom. But found loneliness. And when he finally understood what he needed, he didn't know how to ask for it anymore. So he waited. Until he couldn't anymore. The test. He offered to fix the garage door. Something small. Something is broken. Just like us. I stood beside him as he worked. He handed me tools. I passed him a wrench. No grand speeches. No apologies. Just the sound of repair. And in that clunky rhythm, a kind of grace. The past doesn't vanish. But sometimes you can build over it. One bolt at a time. The birthday. His birthday came. This time I gave him the letter, the new one. He opened it at the kitchen table. Read it in silence. When he looked up, his eyes were wet. "You remembered." "Always," I said. Then I gave him pancakes. Just like the ones we used to make on Sundays. That morning we sat together. Father. Son. Not perfect, but real. The night walk. That evening we went for a walk. The same block I used to push him around in a stroller. Now we walk side by side. The silence wasn't awkward anymore. It was full. Comfortable. He stopped near the corner where he scraped his knee as a boy. You remember when I bled all over your new pants? I laughed. I still have the stain. He smiled, but then his face turned serious. I don't know how to undo all the years. I said, you don't have to. Just walk with me. And we kept walking. The scar. One afternoon I noticed the scar on his wrist. It was faint. He saw me looking and quickly pulled his sleeve down. I didn't ask. Not then. But that night over coffee he brought it up. It got bad, he said. Really bad. I nodded, heartbroken. He added, but something always stopped me. One thought. You. And for the first time I understood the weight of my silence. What it cost him. And what it saved. The apology. I told him I was sorry. Not just for the fight. But for not knowing how to be what he needed. For being too proud. Too scared. Too silent. He listened. Then he reached across the table and gripped my hand. You're doing fine now, he said. And I realized that maybe forgiveness isn't one moment. It's a long string of small ones. The bench. We went back to the park where we first met again. The same bench. The same view. We sat. No words for a while. He finally said, this place scared me. That first time. I didn't know if you'd even show up. I replied, neither did I. And we laughed. The bench creaked under our weight. But it held us. Just like this moment. Just like forgiveness. The question. One morning, over eggs and toast, he asked, what would Mom say if she saw us now? I paused. She'd say, took you long enough. He laughed. And then he was quiet. I wish I'd come home sooner. I looked at him. You're home now. The shed. We cleaned the shed together. Boxes of toys. Old tools. His bike has a bent wheel. He found the little wooden plane he made at age 10. Held it like it was sacred. I thought this was gone. Some things just wait to be found, I said. He nodded slowly. Maybe he wasn't just talking about the plane. The letter. He wrote me one. Left it on my nightstand. It said, I still don't know how to say all the things. But I'm learning. Thanks for waiting for me. Love, your son. I didn't reply with words. I left pancakes on the table the next morning. Extra syrup. No need to say a thing. The ending that wasn't. There's no final moment. No dramatic reunion. No perfect resolution. Just a man and his son. Learning to speak again. Learning to stay. And every morning that he's still here. Every small thing we do. That's the real ending. Because sometimes, love doesn't knock on the door. It just quietly walks back in. And stays.
Listen, I'm just a monkey. But even I know a good story when I hear one. So if this one made your heart pump harder, hit that subscribe button before I start throwing bananas. Help the channel grow, or I'll cry like it's the Lion King again. Go on. Click it. I'll wait.